Happy Sunday. We're live. It's nighttime. Let's talk. I'm a little bit late here getting some things together, so bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. It's been a bit of a crazy day. Been a crazy weekend of just training. I did I guess 3 sessions today if you really think about it. And it's a lot. It's a lot of volume for me. I'm not used to that kind of volume right now. Where the heck is this? Okay, hold on. I was just finishing the weekly, or sorry, kind of daily video that I made for what the heck? This is frustrating me. Sorry, hold on. Okay, I can only do one thing at a time, y'all. Forgive me. What the heck? Okay, sorry. If that wasn't enough. Okay. Focus, Brian. Let's go. You got this. Oops, hold on. I want this one. Okay. Yeah, I just finished the video for kind of my daily check-ins with regarding the kind of training in public, right? Or let me back up. My mind has been all over the place, and I'm just tired. I think my mind is just tired. Basically, I've made a commitment to post. I think I talked about this. I made a commitment to post on YouTube once a day. Basically, day in the life journey type videos. How'd it go? What's the training today? What am I taking on? What's going on? And I don't know. I have thoughts about why I'm doing that, which I'll get into, I think, briefly. But I just finished that. I came back from mass. And I had dinner on my way back, and then was like, oh crap, I have to do this, and I don't want to do this later when I'm done here on Nighttime Talk. But anyways, it's been nice. It's warmed up a little bit, thankfully. Anyone who's been wondering, as it's been warm a little bit, a little bit warmer. Today was like 30s, but yeah. Let me just jump into it. You know, I titled this kind of "Building in Public," and why this podcast. I think one thing that I've been thinking about is what's the outcome? What's the goal here? Right? What am I trying to achieve? I think there's several things, obviously, of varying complexities and depth. But at least one here is, I think, and a big important one is that I want to kind of just document the journey here. I want to document the journey from um, going from someone who didn't know that much about CrossFit about 2 years ago to trying it out, going into the adaptive divisions, placing, being awarded 5th place in the adaptive games this year. And soon I'll be signing up for my L1 and kind of just trying to dive into learning as much as I can about the space and what is my place and what can I contribute and what's the best place for me to insert myself, take advantage of the skills and talents that I have, and make the community better, CrossFit community, but also just generally, I don't know, fitness, adaptive sports, that kind of thing. I think these things are important. They matter. And almost forgot. I wanted to post this on. I wanted to share this on YouTube. Sorry, on Instagram. Un momentito. Okay. Copy. And I'll get into that. Freaking Hinge. It's always notifications from that baloney. Okay. I don't know what kind of stupid face to make here on that. I'm gonna skip the stupid faces. Now live. Okay. Bear with me, y'all. There's no one watching here live yet. So I guess my apologies to anyone who is looking at this later. Future nighttime talk enjoyers. Okay. Okay. So, like I was saying, I want to learn as much as I can as quickly as I can. And one of the ways that I've learned in my years to learn something is by trying to teach it or trying to regurgitate or reiterate some of the stuff, the content and information that you've learned. I've learned a lot, I think, even quickly here in the last 2 years, even if it's somewhat implicitly, somewhat not something that I have like all packaged up and neatly tied up with a bow. I have opinions, I have thoughts, I have been guided by, lots of prior experiences. I'm 32 years old right now. I've lived some life and I'm still a young man, but I found that this is one of the ways that I can learn as much as I can, basically in dialogue. In dialogue, and if with no one else, at least with myself, in a way, right? Even reiterating this information and trying to structure it and present it in a way that is memorable and helpful and interesting and engaging to people is something I think is worth the time. And that's what I want to do here. I'm on a journey and I'm learning every day. I'm learning new things about CrossFit. I'm learning new things about the adaptive space. I'm learning things about myself as an athlete, as a person, as a man. And I think there's lots of cool things that I can share about that. Just having that kind of learner's mindset, the learner's growth mindset. Um, and I think that's something a lot of people can benefit from. So there's like that kind of dimension as well. I hope that obviously this is helpful to people. And it's a little bit more content heavy. It's a little bit more focused on kind of specific things that are kind of head knowledge, perhaps, right? But I think helpful. I hope helpful, at least to someone at some point, somewhere. Anyways, and the other thing is, I'm also sort of like not putting all my eggs in one basket, right? I want to present myself here as an adaptive CrossFit athlete, someone with lots of different kind of aspects and experiences. And this is kind of more of my weekly check-in, with more of my weekly kind of cadence of stuff that I'm trying to get out there and talk about and present. Another kind of dimension here is I've never thought of myself as someone who's a good teacher. I've never thought about myself as someone who can talk in front of a crowd or talk to people and keep them engaged and interested. And I think that's kind of a personal problem. I think that's kind of a personal thing. Regardless of whether you think it's true, it might be true. I don't know. I think there's some truth to it, at least. And I think given that fact, I want to be better. I was complimented the other day. I was giving a talk recently to some friends of mine in kind of an informal setting. And regardless of whatever the content of this talk was, there was a friend of mine who came up to me afterwards and was like, "Hey, you handled that guy." Because in this structure of this talk, there's not typically a lot of people interrupting. There's not a lot of people who kind of come in and kind of volunteer their own thoughts. This is sort of like a talk, like I speak to you and you listen. It's kind of understood to be that way. Anyways, long story short, he came up to me after and was like, "Hey, you were like really patient with dealing with that guy who was," and he's like, "You were a good talk and you're on a roll. Like you're a good speaker, and like." I was like, he was frustrated on my behalf that this guy had sort of interrupted my train of thought and kind of whatever cramped my style a little bit. It was fine. I think the guy wasn't really picking up on too many social cues, and so I think that was kind of part of it. I think he might have a little bit of a challenge with that kind of thing. Um, Anywho, yeah. So I hope that kind of clears up some of this kind of why this podcast, why does it matter, why do I go through the effort? If no one else is learning something, I think I'm learning something. I'm growing and developing some of these skills as well, and I think those are worth it because obviously, like I said, I do give talks to people, and being a little bit more familiar and being a little bit more skilled in being able to present ideas clearly, coherently, in an interesting, entertaining, and thought-provoking, thoughtful way, is something that I think is really important and valuable and can impact people that I know personally, now and in the future too, as far as I know. So, um, I want to talk about programming too. So, my programming week ahead, a little bit. Um, in general, I signed up recently. Kind of, I've been experimenting, and I've sort of committed to this for the time being, which is a blend of the programming from Sentinel training, Taylor Self and Bryson Del Monte, kind of their training program, which is like super affordable, $20 a month, which is very cool within my budget. And the programming just from my gym, my affiliate, CrossFit the Neighborhood by Adam, which is done all in house. He's a former games athlete. He's super cool, awesome dude. I might have him on at some point just to kind of shoot the shit and talk. He's a cool guy. He's fun. So the reason I wanted to do this split is because I wanted to kind of find a way to increase the volume if I want to over time of my training, and then b um, make sure that my scheduling of my workouts and my training is not interfering as much with work. I don't want to be working and training on the same days necessarily. I want to focus on work during the work week and then use my weekends a little bit more primarily for training. And unfortunately, there's just not as many like regular class sessions on the weekend, which is kind of normal, right? Typical. A lot of people have families. I don't have a family, so I'm a little bit more available, I think, to kind of do training like on the weekend that in that manner. So there's typically the partner workout on Saturday, and then there's sort of barbell club on Sundays, every Sunday, and then there's also an additional. Usually at my gym there's an additional kind of Sunday sweats session, which is basically a cardio session at my gym on Sundays. That'd be funny if I see one person here. It's probably Trident Wizard. Trident Wizard is back. Anywho, okay. So, okay, she's gone. Gosh, sorry. I'm trying to. Okay. So that's kind of the general scheme. The general scheme is that, or those are the general goals that I have with my training. Keep focus on work during the work week. So I'm going to try to take my off days during the work week is part of that, and then have the flexibility to expand my volume on the weekends if I need to, as time progresses and my progressions keep going. Right. So we have so what? How does that kind of boil down? And I think that's kind of that next section, weekly training plan. How do I deal with this? I think so. In general, um, I want to try to get in the gym 6 days a week, more or less. Let's talk about rest days. My plan with rest days is that I'm going to take a rest, which is sort of programmed into Sentinel. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm keep hiccuping. It's programmed on Sentinel. There's like a Thursday, which is sort of like an easy conditioning type swim a day, right? That's going to be my Monday. So I'm going to take that day as programmed and shift it to my Monday. Depending on how I'm feeling, if I'm healthy or not, like I'll take it off, adjust it, kind of just the point is to get in there and sweat a little bit. And then class Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is going to be my regular kind of like fully off day, which is in Sentinel what's programmed on Sundays, which is like nothing. So there's nothing going on Sundays typically with Sentinel. So that's going to be my Thursday. Thursday, work day, cool, there's a lot to, I can catch up, just kind of kill it at work if I need to. And then boom, done. Friday class, regular class, and then Saturday, Sunday is going to be the what's more interesting. Saturday, typically, I'll do that partner workout. That'll just be kind of a typical conditioning piece, and then I'll do the Sentinel 60, which is basically a regular class, um, uh, programming for a regular class, and then so there'll be 2 sessions on Saturdays. Sundays is a little bit what gets hairy, and is a little bit kind of what happened to me today. I did the Sentinel 60 in the morning early. I got up early, and then I went to Barbell Club, which is right afterwards, and there was like a lot of volume that we did in Barbell Club, which is great, but just a lot, right? Um, and then I took the rest of the day, and then I was like resting, and then we had the Sunday Sweats conditioning piece in the evening, and I did that, and that was rough. And that was rough, and it just kind of killed me for the rest of the day. So that's basically what I did today. That may change. I think I need that barbell piece. I think if there's a way that I can keep it focused on technique and the quality of movement, then that'll be ideal, obviously. But yeah, anyways, in any case, we'll see. So, yeah, that's the general plan. So again, for this week, I don't think there's going to be any deviations from that general goal, that general idea. Let me see. I'm looking at my calendar. Yeah, I don't see any reason why that won't work this coming week. Yep. Anyways, yeah. So that's the kind of thought. That's the plan. There we are. Okay. Week to week, I think it'd be kind of consistent, be more or less the same. Again, with every other Sunday being a little bit heavy with conditioning barbell and the Sentinel piece. Yeah, especially when today, like that barbell session, barbell clinic was very, how do I put this? It was intense. There was a lot of volume, and you could have gone heavy if you wanted, but I did my best to kind of stay in my lane, keep it light, keep it focused. We'll see. So, yeah. Okay. Lastly, before I kind of wrap up here, I wanted to talk about the recent announcements of the prize money for adaptives. I don't have a super defined opinion at this point, right? At this time, I don't have a super strong opinion. That's not to say that I don't think there is an opinion that I have, but I just do not. I want to make an informed opinion, and partially what I mean by that is I want to take some time to gather some data. I haven't 100% committed to understanding a ton of this information, but one resource that I have available to me is Rollo from Meme for Time. Rollo has offered to help me just to give me some data, give me some of the data that he had regarding his posts, regarding his profile, which is fairly mainstream, pretty big, a big deal. He's got a lot of followers. I think he's got 100,000 followers right now. And he covers the games, regular games. He covers adaptive, and he's one of the few guys who's out there with the adaptive, who's in that kind of mainstream space and category, and who also kind of really cares a lot about adaptive divisions. He's a good guy. He's an awesome guy. And he's kind of offered to help me get some data. So I just want to kind of share one thing which I think struck me as potentially being problematic. I don't have it ready right here, but fear not, it shall be soon to be on the screen. The thing in question is this graphic, which visualizes where the $20 from an open registration fee goes. So this is going to be kind of a direct from the open registration model, which everyone knows about at this point, I think. If you pay $20 to register for the CrossFit Open, this is how the breakdown goes. $10 goes to CrossFit LLC HQ. $4.90 goes to the individual games prize purse. And then so on and so forth. You kind of see the breakdown. The affiliates will get money back. Open registration get, so on and so forth. We have the team games at $1, Masters games $1, and then we have adaptive games at a kind of the smallest breakdown, actually not tied with the individual semis, of 30 cents. The thing that strikes me, at least on like an initial analysis here, and I want to kind of, and this is where the data kind of plays in. We have other divisions, we have other divisional games, we have teams, masters, and nothing for the teens. Okay. This seems like a 1-1-3. What's the discount? I mean, I'm sure the Masters games, like, to me, it's a little bit of a statement of value from CrossFit, right? What are the adaptive games worth to CrossFit in terms of dollars and cents? Masters games are worth $1, and the adaptive games are worth 30 cents. Now, what I want to kind of consider with Rollo's information and data is basically, what's the discount, right? What's the discount like from the individual games to the adaptive games? And by discount, I mean the hit. What kind of hit does Rollo take when he posts something about CrossFit games, adaptive versus regular? And I think granted, like I know it's obviously going to be smaller. He said so himself. He said so that his post didn't have the same kind of reach, didn't have the same kind of engagement that the regular games do. He's told us this. We know this, and that's, by intuition, it makes sense, right? But what I'm curious about is whether that discount or that rate cut that he's talking about corresponds to this sort of discrepancy, whether that really kind of matches with the reality of how much we're actually worth. And granted, the assumption here is a little bit that the media presence and the reach and the kind of engagement with content online is equivalent, more or less, to what the winners of the games deserve. And there's a lot that goes into kind of, I think, what it means to have, what it means to provide value to CrossFit HQ, right? But you could argue also that the adaptive divisions and the masters divisions, for example, just take those two, are essentially a reinvestment in the branding and marketing for CrossFit. The branding and marketing for CrossFit being something that's inclusive, that's adaptive, that's something that anyone can do. Anyone can do it, but it's not for everyone, kind of thing, right? That kind of message. If we have that kind of clarity about, if we're providing that kind of clarity and that kind of marketing power to the CrossFit HQ, I'd like to kind of be able to think that at least the CrossFit Games prize purse reflects that kind of value that we're providing. And right now, I'm just not sure. Anyways, those are my initial thoughts. About this. I could be wrong, could be mistaken. But again, like I said, I'm here all it's all about learning. It's all about growing. It's all about deepening my mastery, deepening my understanding and knowledge of the space. I'm relatively new, and that's good. That's great. Cool. There was one guy who was here for a little bit, but dipped, peaced out. With that, I think we'll finish. We'll come to an end. No one to ask questions or follow up. So, good night, good luck, Godspeed. We'll see you guys next time.